Hey there, welcome back to Move Mountains Pilates. My name is Jess, and today we're working out from Two Jack Lake in Banff. So all you need is you and your body. This is going to be a 25-minute beginner workout, beginner friendly, or a good review of some of those basic things. If it's been a while for you and you just want to kind of review the basics so that you're more successful going forwards with the more intermediate stuff. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Throughout the summer, I'm going to be posting a whole lot more videos coming from the mountains, so be sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Let's start lying down on your back. Okay, lying on your back here, let's start by putting the hands on top of your belly with your thumbs touching the bottom of your ribs, fingertips touching your hip bones. Then I want you to just go into a few pelvic tilts. Tuck your tail, flatten the low back down, and then restore neutral. Rock into your imprint. The low back gently presses down, and the fingers and thumbs, and therefore ribs and hips, go a little bit closer together. Restore that neutral. Neutral, you can think natural, so the tail's heavy. You've got your natural space underneath your low back. Imprint, you no longer have that space. Instead, those ribs and hips glide together. And that's about the core. So instead of pushing through your feet to make that happen and squeezing your bum, I want you to do your best to keep the legs relaxed and instead just use your abdominals to create that little tuck. We'll just do a couple more. Tucking and releasing and just getting used to that. And then let's restore neutral. Neutral, natural, tail is heavy, normal curve of your spine. Keeping your hands on your belly here, just try sliding one leg out long. Slide it back in, then change sides. And then let's add in your breath to that. Exhale, slide out. Force the air out of your lips. Inhale, slide in. Exhale out, inhale in. Now as you do that, notice that distance between your fingers and thumbs, your ribs and hips, and try to keep that distance really, really stable. Exhale, reach out long, zipper those ribs down. Inhale, pull back in. It's subtle, but you're just getting into the deepest layer of your core here. Just building awareness to that pelvic stability, to that deep core activation. Last one. Good. And now let's just try lifting one leg up, tabletop, put the foot down, change sides. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower, still holding neutral. And notice how your body wants to shift around. You're doing your best to hold steady. One more per side like that. And then let's try that one in your imprint. Tuck your tail, draw your ribs and hips together. Make sure you release tension in the back of your legs. Then exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. And just notice the difference in how that feels compared to when you were holding your neutral. Does that feel easier for you to stabilize, harder? What about the engagement through your abs? Do you feel that a little deeper? That imprint gets the superficial abs involved. So not just the deep core, but your six-pack muscles are working a little bit too. So you should feel that a little deeper. Now pause with one leg tabletop. Lift your second one up there as well. Let's leave the knees bent to 90 and do toe taps. Exhale, lower one leg. Inhale, lift. Switch sides. As you do that, you're really focused on your imprint. The knee stays bent to 90, so you're not just tapping your feet down, but instead open your thigh away from you and then pull it back. I really don't care if your toe actually touches down or not. I care about that pelvic stability. And if you're doing a really good job of holding your imprint, you should feel your abs working hard. I know I definitely do. Now can you feel a little engagement through the back of your leg? Squeeze the back of your bum as you reach your leg away from you. It's subtle, but it's there. The focus is on your abs, but you might be able to find a little bit of leg engagement by moving dynamically with intention and control. Finish off a couple more. Kick your mat away if the wind's blowing it at you. Or just let it happen. Oh, rocks at my bum, that's fine. Finish off your last. And then from there, sweep the rocks away. We'll leave the feet planted down. Let's move into some glute work now. Feet are planted close to your bum. Let's again keep your hands on your body, on your pelvis, because that will help to have you figure out where your imprint is. And for these, let's initiate with your imprint. Flatten the low back down, then peel your spine off the mat into your bridge. Pause up there. Notice your long line. You should have hip bones higher than those ribs. Ribs are drawn down a little bit. Then lead by melting with the chest. Draw your ribs down deeper to the mat. Let the rib cage hit first, then the low back follows. Tail releases last, back to neutral. And again, you tuck. Squeeze the glutes as you press into your feet, lifting up into your bridge. Hold for an inhale. Exhale, melt down. And you'll feel as you move, those ribs and hips, your fingers and thumbs go closer together, cinching up through the front of your abs. And then one long line at the top from shoulders to head. And from your shoulders to your knees. And then roll back down. If you're feeling good with that, maybe you place your arms by your sides. And maybe you actively press those upper arms into the mat, giving you a bit more support. Feel the back of the arms working for you. And if that rolling motion doesn't feel good, feel free to just hinge instead. That's fine too. Otherwise, you're scooping through the belly as you lift and as you lower. Almost finding a little stretch through the low back as you melt into the mat each time. Let's just finish off with 2 more. On your next one, hold it up there. Stay stable at the top. And then let's just do little pulses. Dip your hips down an inch, squeeze and lift. Squeeze and lift. Drive down through those heels. The bum cheeks just release and then squeeze. Release and then squeeze. 5 more. And this is where you could stay or we'll progress. Hold it up there, squeeze the glutes. Now just try lifting one of your heels. Lower, change sides. So you're alternating a calf raise. And feel how your weight shifts a little from foot to foot. You're pressing deeper into that flat foot on the mat each time. You could stay with that or lift your heel, then lift the entire leg up tabletop. Place the foot down, change sides. Alternating your march. Keep pressing down through those upper arms to help with your stability. Core is tight. Remember that deep engagement through your core that we started with, the deep core work? That's what you're engaging here. Zippering up tight around your waist to help hold your pelvis stable and help to support your low back as well. Just finish 1 more per side. And then place both feet down, lift up another inch, then slowly melt back down into the mat. Hug your knees towards you. Breathe, maybe rock. Okay, now reach your legs straight up to the sky. Reach your arms straight up to the sky too. Nod your chin and curl up towards them. Inhale, lower. You could also do hands behind the head if you prefer. Or maybe just stay with your toe taps that we started with. That's another great ab exercise. The point of them is the exact same. You're working your abs, so it doesn't matter which one you do, whatever feels best in your body. Here, hopefully you don't get hit by your mat. Here, we're getting an extra little stretch through your hamstrings as we reach up and down. Lengthening those legs, actively reaching them up, actively reaching your fingers to the sky. And as you do that, you're reaching the belly button in and down towards the mat, creating some opposition, scooping the belly down when you reach up. 2 more. On your next one, try to stay crunched up. Grab your right calf in your hand, lower the left leg, and then switch. Pull your leg towards you each time. Now you're welcome to do this head down instead if your neck isn't loving it. Either way, scooping in and down through your belly to work your abs as you actively stretch your legs after all those bridges. You've got this. 4 more. 3, maybe you curl up a little higher. Try to finish evenly, last 1 or 2. Good, and then lower down. Stretch your arms above your head, let the ribs pop so you're stretching. Big breath. Okay, then flip on over to your belly. Let's go into a little back extension there. Let's do this today with elbows bent by your sides, knuckles in line with your shoulders, forearms are mat width apart, and your feet are also mat width apart. And you're rooting your tailbone down, squeeze those glutes. Then I want you to just lift your chest and your head, but keep your elbows rooted down. And then lower back down again. So just getting into the upper spine. Although your arms are planted on the floor, it's the back muscles that help you get up. You're not pushing through the arms, but instead you're pulling shoulder blades together to lengthen up. Reach longer out of your toes. Reach longer out of the crown of your head. That doesn't mean you're just looking way forwards, but instead you're keeping the back of your neck long, reaching with length, keeping the back of your neck wrinkle-free. Now, if that's feeling good, maybe you increase your range. Start by keeping the elbows glued to the mat for as long as possible, and then maybe you lengthen up into a bigger extension if that feels good today. Big inhale, exhale, pull yourself back down again. Draw the shoulder blades in and down. How long can you keep your elbows grounded before they lift up because you go higher? Whatever height feels good for you. Just by doing the motion, you're going to improve your mobility, so you don't need to jam yourself up. And if you want a little bit more arm activation, try pulling yourself forwards on the way down. Instead of just lowering, pull the hands towards you, almost like you're trying to drag the mat towards you without actually physically moving it. Draw your chest forwards, elbows in and down. We'll do 2 more. Last one here. And then we'll take a shell stretch. Sit your bum back on your heels, around and reach over your legs. Maybe a little sway side to side. Then let's go into some side lying work. I want you to find one long line head to feet. It might be helpful to line your body up with the back end of your mat. That way you have something to guide you in place. Your heels are going to be in line with the back of your bum. And then try to just lengthen up through the bottom waist. If you can, you'll have a gap underneath your waist. Maybe it's not physically there, but you still get that engagement of pulling the waist away from the floor, reaching long out of your top hip. Then keep reaching out of that top hip as you reach your top leg up. And then lower it down. Exhale, lengthen up. Inhale, lower. You're just going to the point where you can keep that engagement in your bottom waist, keep that sensation of lift. As soon as you feel like the waist drops, you've gone too high. I want you to isolate this to the outer glute, and therefore you're only going up to the point where you can keep that waist lengthened up. Reach longer out of your toe. You're using that exhale as you lift so that you can help with that oblique engagement, keeping the waist tight. 3 more. 2. And on your last one here, hold the leg, lift it up. Tiny circles coming from the hip. It's like you're drawing a circle on the wall underneath you, if you have a wall underneath you. Maybe you're drawing your circle on your leg. Maybe you can take top hand to the hip. Let's reverse directions. If If you've got to keep fingers on the mat, that's fine. Just keep them light so you're relying on your core for your stability and not relying too much on your hand. 2 and 1, lower down. We have one more thing to do. Let's lift up about hip height again. This time keep your ankle flexed, toes pulled to the shin. Now rotate your thigh bone to face the sky, rotate the thigh bone to face the floor. You're spitting that thigh within its socket. Now your imaginary laser beam is shooting out of your heel and it should be staying at the exact same spot on your wall. Watch that you're not making a circle, but instead you're just spinning your thigh around so the leg itself stays at the same spot in space. Getting right into those glutes. How much can you turn the thigh to face the floor each time? 4 more. 3, 2, last one. Awesome job. Lie down on your back, take a quick figure 4 stretch. Cross that ankle over the other knee. You might choose to leave your foot on the floor. You could always rock side to side, or maybe you hug the legs in. I actually feel it where I need it today with my foot on the floor. I find that gets right into the hip joint almost, whereas hugging the legs gets into the back of the glute more. So wherever you need it. One more big breath, and then you have your other side. You can just flip right over. Find your long line, head to feet once again. Get those heels in line with the back of your bum. Pull the bottom waist away from the ground, and then keep reaching out of that top hip, and therefore reach out of your top toes to lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, squeeze that glute as you lift. Inhale, lower it back down. I apologize if there's any wind noise. It's quite windy here. But that's one of the benefits of working out outside is you get a natural fan, right? Now the other thing to pay attention to here is where your hip is in space. You might be able to keep your waist lifted, but if your hip's rolling back and your legs kicking forwards, that's also your body cheating. Keep the foot in line with the back of the bum the whole time, and keep your top hip rocked forward, stable on top of that bottom hip. That's another reason why it might be helpful to put your top hand on your hip if you can stabilize, because you'll know where your hip is in space. We have 3, 2. This time hold it up there, tiny circles coming from that hip. Find that deep core engagement. Pull tight around the waist like you're wearing a corset. Reverse. Reach longer out of that leg. You can do this. Going for 3, 2, 1. Lower back down. Good. Then it's our last one. We gotta lengthen up again. Flex your ankle and keep it flexed. Turn that toe to face the sky. Turn it all the way to face the ground. And just be sure that you're not just moving your foot, right? You're moving your whole leg, spinning from the hip socket. You could even put your hand on your thigh to feel it move and kind of help guide it into where you want it to go. Getting in there really deep. Targeting all of those glute muscles. 3 more. 2, 2.5, and just 1 more here. Beautiful. Lie on your back, another figure 4. Oh, so tight in there. Maybe you're rocking. You could always open the arms to the sides to get a little chest expansion too, or maybe you grab your legs and hug them in. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Plant that foot on the ground. Reach to your legs. Use your arms to help you curl up, seated all the way tall. Next, we'll just finish off with some half rollbacks. So, seated tall here, you can either do this with straight legs, that will be harder, or bent knees, that's a little easier. I'm gonna do straight. Reach the arms forward, sit up as tall as you can, lift up and out of your hips, and then scoop back just halfway. We call that C curve. Then pull yourself up tall. Tuck the tail, roll onto your tailbone, draw the ribs in and down towards those hip bones, and then lengthen up as tall as you can each time. Exhale, scoop it back. Inhale, can you stay? Then exhale, lengthen up. Inhale, reset. Exhale, scoop back. Taking our time here so that we feel deep core work. And as you're rolling back, even though you're pulling your belly button in and back, you're reaching forwards out of your arms, maybe out of your legs. That reach is going to help you to keep the core engaged and help you to control the motion. This time, let's hold it. Stay in your scoop. Lift one arm up. Lower and change sides. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. How stable can you stay in that scoop? Maybe you got to come up a little higher to stay stable. That's fine if you do. Then can you maybe lift your opposite leg just about 45 degrees in the air? You could still do that with bent legs, maybe bent knees the whole time. A little march, otherwise straight. Get your coordination right, opposites. And try 4 more. Last couple. Last one. Grow really, really tall. And then I just want to add in a bit of mobility through rotation. So let's stay seated tall for your very last thing, I promise. Take your feet wider, or you could say crisscross applesauce. Open the arms wide to the sides, and then just twist over. Inhale, center, exhale, twist. Say hi to the lake, hi to the mountain. Good. Grow tall as you do this. Even just sitting tall is really tough work. You're using your back extensors, using that deep core once again. And just be sure that it's not the arms flinging you around. Those arms are just extensions of your collarbones. The arms stay super stable. You twist from your waist. One more per side. Beautiful. Okay, after sitting like this for so long, I definitely need a hip flexor stretch. So on your knees, take one foot forwards and lunge into it. Squeeze your glute and come as tall as you can. You could do this holding on to a wall or something. You could also do this just standing and pressing your hips forwards like that if your knee doesn't like it. Or grab a cushion for your knee. Deepen your breaths. You've done some good work today. An awesome start to your Pilates practice if this is new to you. One more breath. And then just change legs. Squeeze your glute, open the hip forwards. Settle the shoulders down. One more breath. And then you're all done. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know how it went for you, especially if it was your very first time trying Pilates or pretty much your very first time. How was that intensity? Did you like all of the cues and everything? Do you need more explanation? Is there anything that you're confused about? Let me know. I am happy to take requests whenever you might need them. But I hope you enjoyed working out in the mountains with me today. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.